Hey all, it's Leslie Madsen Brooks again, just checking in on my iBooks author project. I wanted to share with you the style sheets that I've mocked up in Keynote. I'm much more familiar with Keynote than I am with iBooks author, so I thought it might be easier for me to create my style sheets in Keynote. Here is the style sheet that Amber and Lana asked us to create. It took me a lot of trial and error. I began with a style sheet and then tried to create the mock-ups, the page mock-ups, and that didn't work very well because I just don't have an eye for that. So instead I ended up going from mock-up to the style sheet. The book will be marked by certain themes that will be denoted by icons. And then there will also be some action icons to alert students to the times when I expect them to do certain kinds of things, to interact with widgets or to take notes or whatever. So here are some mock-ups of the pages, just with lorem ipsum, or rather hipster ipsum, that I downloaded from the web. I want the book to have a lot of images. Like many fields, public history is highly visual. People go to museums and historic sites to see things, for example. They go to websites to download images and documents and whatnot. And so the visual is really important. I want the book to be beautiful as well as engaging. I am mocking up spaces where I will put in some activity widgets. And I've been trying to figure out just the right opacity for the background of text when it's over images. So if you are unable to read that, please let me know. All right, so then moving on to some of the content. I hope to be working with the folks at the Angel Island Historic Immigration Station to do some kind of work with my students for them, some digital humanities kind of work. And so the students need some background on that. And so I am going to include the Angel Island nomination for the National Register of Historic Places. So I'll be copying and pasting the text from this, but then I also am going to be having the students read portions of the African American National Historic Landmark Assessment Study so that students can get a sense of what other sort of ethnic studies and civil rights issues have been raised within the National Park Service when they're talking about historic sites. Key background information there. Now in terms of widgets, there's a lot of different widgets that I might include. Google Maps, of course, is going to be a key one when we're looking at historic sites so that students can, for example, zoom in on Angel Island, which is an immigration station, an island within San Francisco Bay. It's close to Alcatraz, if you're familiar where that is. But then also I wanted to be able to collect feedback from my students. So I was thinking of using the form builder. Image Explorer, because there's going to be a ton of images in the book. Many of the images that I can download from the Library of Congress, for example, are enormous. And so it'd be great for students to be able to zoom in and really take a close look at some of those images. And then I'd like to have students be able to take notes right in the text instead of having to switch apps all the time. To be able to do that within the book is important to me. There are going to be videos from YouTube that I might want to embed. There, for example, are great videos created by various historic preservationists and others on their work, so that will supplement the text nicely. I used to show those in class, but now the students can watch those before class. I haven't fully explored SoundCloud, but I like the idea of embedding audio into the book. And then finally, I wanted to play around with this interactive timeline. Of course, historians think a lot about time, and see if I can use the timeline to help the students better understand, for example, some of the changes at Angel Island. So that's the only update that I have for now. At this point, it's mostly me trying to do the hard labor of copying and pasting from the PDF, getting the text into plain text, and then reformatting it in the book, and then figuring out what needs to go into those different widgets, and what kind of what my learning goals are for each chapter, to really try to get the students to better understand some of these things. That's it for now. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody else's videos.